This was the stock bridge that came with it. It was pretty close, but being the stickler for intonation that I am, I decided to go with this bridge that I've used many times before. One thing I noticed right away was the actual thickness of the original bridge. This bridge tended to tilt a little bit. This replacement bridge is thicker and a much better fit on the actual post. The intonation right out of the gate is pretty darn close with this one, but it did need a little bit of a touch up on the A string, and I'm just about to touch up the first string. But before I do, I wanted to bring in and show you something here. I needed a little bit of a touch up on that first string, just to guarantee the accuracy in the centering. I put that masking tape on there, and as you can see, I marked it with a Sharpie. A couple of reasons I use the masking tape. One is to mark the spot accurately, but just as importantly is to be able to file. The file will skid laterally when you go to file. This way you get the exact spot where you need to file, and that piece of masking tape prevents the file from skating on you. So it was just the A string and this first string. So just these. And that will do it. See how that moves back and forth? Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and notch that one as well. That's better. Much better. And this is the iconic single pickup Les Paul Jr. No question about it, this is Gibson's answer to the Telly. It's so simple and so stable. An amazing guitar. So here's one curveball on this guitar that I wasn't really expecting. I'm showing you this angle so you can see how high the treble side needed to be raised and the bass side needed to be lowered in order for the strings to level out with the fingerboard surface. Now, I have gone over this several times over the last few hundred videos, talking about the neck to body angle and all the different planes that need to be considered. The neck needs to be right this way, and this way, this way, and this way. And in the case of this guitar, this neck joint, that mortise, I don't know how this happened, it's sort of exaggerated this way. And that's why that bridge needed to be lifted up. Never come across one quite like this before. There's our compensated nut. This is 10-46 concert pitch. This is where the action ended up on the treble side. And this is the bass side action. Now I did drill and tap for a little bit more aggressive thread, the casting for this bridge. And now we've got full adjustability. I did notice that that D string still seems to slop around a little bit. I'm going to go ahead and notch that as well. Seeing as we've come this far, may as well make it 100%. It's the last string that needs to be touched up. Using that Hosco file just to mark it first. Good. That'll do it. Well, mission accomplished. Time to bring this one into the studio and take it for a spin. So I've recorded that. I'm going to let that play.